Well, welcome back. I thought we'd take a further look at the EVO 2 prototype board, Commodore 64 board. And if you remember from the first video, there's actually a couple slightly different things on the board that I'm going to point out. So we've made a few changes. This is an evolving project, so as with any beta test project, there's always things that we're trying and to see if something can be improved. What you may have noticed on the first video is part of the clear video circuit there were 4 trimmers. But now, if you look, there's actually 5 trimmers, and I'll explain that in a bit. So we've added another trimmer to better control the Luma output. And why is that important? Well, there's a variety of displays that people are using with Commodore 64s, from CRTs to all sorts of analog to digital adapters, RetroTink, and others. So because of that, a lot of those adapters, they behave differently, both with Chroma and Luma. So you can't really say that there's a perfect setting for Commodore Video, because it's kind of dependent also on what your, the monitor that you're using and the adapter that you're using. So because of that, we thought it'd be better to include a little bit more flexibility. The original circuit already had a Chroma adjustment, which is this bottom one right here. But basically replacing a resistor in the circuit with a variable resistor gives us a little bit more control over Luma. Now, one of the really nice things, I'm going to go ahead and turn the board on. One of the really nice things about the EVO 2 is, just like the EVO 1, there's some headers back here for video output. So we can get some basic signal levels both for Chroma, for Luma, and even for Composite, as well as audio out, and there's also a jumper for audio in as well, that are readily accessible back there. These voltages measured here may not be exact as to what the actual circuit is putting out, but it's fairly close enough to be able to get an idea of what the video output is, going out through the video jack, through the DIN plug. So I have, so that's one of the things, we have been experimenting with, and to get a better video signal. Now currently, the video signal that is being displayed in the capture is an S-video signal, and as such, I'm going to load some diagnostic video software, so we could take a look at what the colors. And actually, you can see that the serial access, drive access, is working fine as well, which is something else that we were testing. So there's no issues with that. I don't have any fast loaders loaded or anything in here, so that's currently just the normal C64 ROM as part of the multi-ROM. There's 7 other ROMs as well, but this particular one is the plain vanilla one. So this is a quick and easy color test, and as we can see, the video's pretty decent. It's really good. One of the things about the clear video circuit is it does eliminate the jail bars, and I have to say it does it in a much better way than typical LumaFix circuits. The LumaFix circuits, I've always felt, kind of dull the display a little bit, and make it a little fuzzy. So that's one of the advantages of this circuit. It's actually pretty clean. I'm going to pause the video and actually going to show you what it looks like in Composite at this point. Okay, so I'm back with you, and I have gone ahead and repeated the same test, this time with a composite display. It'll never be as good as this video, but it's okay. You know, it's pretty good. And certainly a lot better than a lot of composite displays that I've seen from some of the other modular replacements. But I have to say that the original RF C64 RF modulator, because it only had composite out, they actually did a pretty nice job on it. Of course, that was fully analog circuit and not going through any digital conversions and that sort of thing, which tend to introduce more artifacts into that display. I'll go ahead and reset the machine so you can see what the opening screen looks like. And so that's the composite output. So that looks okay. So currently we're back in S-Video, and I've connected the multimeter, and we should be getting kind of a rough reading here of what this particular reading is, the Chroma voltage. And this is a PAL system, so it's a PAL VIC2. But if I wanted to switch over and check out what the Luma signal is, that would give me the Luma signal. Now, of course, I'm doing this on the default Commodore 64 screen, and which probably is not the best way to get a benchmark of the video voltages. In fact, it probably would be most likely, it would be better to get levels on full white and full black, as well as full color bars, 100% color bars. So this, we're back on, now that's the Chroma level with the black, all black screen, and this would be Chroma level, Luma level rather, with the all white screen. That's 593 millivolts. Switching over to a different ROM, to the all white. Oh, it helps if you take out the correct jumper. I just switched to a different basic instead of kernel. So let's put that back. We'll turn it off. That'd be a better idea. Okay. Here we go. Now we should have all white. There we go. That's much better. Okay, so that's the Chroma output. It's 940 millivolts, and go to Luma. That's about 1.27 volts or so. A little bit over 1 volt, peak to peak. So that kind of gives you a rough idea of how to calibrate. Once you find, what looks best on your monitors and stuff, you can duplicate that and get those levels with different modular replacements in different machines if you have more than one machine. So it's really handy having these headers to get those rough measurements and to compare peers to peers. I'm not going to say the A word. Or pears to oranges, right? We don't mention that word on this channel, okay? Only this one. Only kidding, of course. Okay, so here's another video test program. This actually is a German program, excellent piece of software. Unfortunately, it does not work for NTSC video. It tends to go into display mode. Well, I should say it partially works. Some of the modes don't work. Some of the tests don't look correct in NTSC mode. But since this is a PAL VIC2, we should be able to see some different video tests. First few screens just basically walk through the different colors, you know, RGB and white, all white here. So we can see those. Now the geometry on my display is not perfect, and you will see that. But overall, it's pretty sharp. It's good. There's our full color bars, and with this video, we don't really have bleed, you know, and so that looks pretty nice. Just walking through some of the tests here. Yeah, and so you get an idea of the tests. And here's one more test program. This particular one, I should say, does work in NTSC. So it's a good way to get some color bars and colors to display colors. So that's the screen with the bars, and we can see the colors, and again, that's very clean, as you can see. There we go. And you can change the different borders here if you'd like. And there we go. I'm trying to think if there's any. Oh, there are a couple other things that we did do and tweaked a little bit. One is the output transistor here for the which is using a Darlington transistor for the cassette access, and that works really well. We had tried a different part first. This part is actually much better and produces a lot less heat. Let's say if you happen to leave your tape on rewind for 2 hours. No one's done that before, right? With the machine on. If you do that, you'll notice that that transistor there will get a little toasty. So that was one of the things we tweaked. And yeah, and that's about it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's changed from the first video. I don't believe so. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and as you know, we do more things and mess around with more stuff, we'll you know, I'll do another video or so, and so you can see the progress of this project. Of course, the next one up will be probably the EVO 3, which has some really cool stuff. So, yeah. Check the postings on the Facebook group, and you'll be able to get some better progress on the project that way. Very good. Well, thanks for watching. Take care. This is SX64 Man.